to take my full 5 minutes. Ms. Collins, the first lead into the question is fairly long, but I want you to kind of hear what I told the taxpayer advocate in my state about some of the problems we're dealing with. The taxpayers' correspondence backlog and other customer service challenges facing the IRS have reached a crisis level. As you mentioned in your testimony, the current filing season challenges require an all-hands-on-deck strategy. In my view, this is not only applies to the IRS internal operations, but Treasury broadly, the Taxpayer Advocate Service, and Congress as well. For IRS to dig itself out of its current hole, we must all work together. Caseworkers in my state offices in Iowa have been inundated with requests for assistance with the IRS. As someone who takes constituent service very seriously, I instruct my caseworkers to go the extra mile to provide assistance. Unfortunately, my dedicated caseworkers have been frustrated in their work by roadblocks put up by the IRS and, in some cases, by the Taxpayer Advocate Service. For instance, there was a period where a Taxpayer Advocate Service stopped accepting status inquiries regarding original and amended tax returns. I understand this was done because there is little TSA can do to speed up processing of returns. However, state caseworkers often cannot determine if there are any issues with taxpayer accounts beyond processing delays without being able to verify the reason for the delays with the IRS or TAS. I appreciate that TAS has recently updated its policies to provide a status update and case monitoring where it has been over 5 months since the taxpayer filed their returns. This is very helpful and reasonable given the length of the backlog. Going forward, so now I'm getting to my question, going forward, do you have any suggestions on how congressional caseworkers and TAS can work together to more efficiently, effectively get taxpayers the assistance that they deserve?
Thank you for the question. We have been working with the IRS because this is a real challenge. As we alluded to earlier with the lack of technology, when we go into the IRS systems, we cannot see the return on the system. We cannot see the reason for the delays. So we are working with the IRS trying to get a workaround so we can work with your constituents. We are going to ask a little bit more from your staff is to help us sort of be the intermediary with the taxpayer, help us get some of the information more quickly so we can get it in the system and continue to work with the IRS. So we'll be reaching out to all the members to say, you know, again, it's all hands on deck. We all need to help taxpayers get through this.
Ms. Collins, Ms. Lucas, Judy, each of you have discussed the difficulty IRS is having hiring employees to fill customer service and mail processing openings. Ms. Collins, you've noted in your annual report that on average it takes IRS about 3 months to hire external candidates for positions. In the current labor market, I suspect many applicants would have already found a different job during that time. Could either of you help me understand what barriers, legal or otherwise, lead to such a long, drawn-out hiring process or period?
Government bureaucracy. I think part of the challenge is the rules that we have in place. What we're asking for is for direct authority for the IRS to be able to just hire people, especially in, right now, the return processing and some of the areas in service, including actually TAS, so we can get the people onboarded quickly. It is a long process. By the time you advertise the position, they apply, you go through the challenges. They also have security checks. So by the time a person could get on board, it could be 60 days, 90 days, 120 days before they even get training. So we need these people on board now to get through this filing season.
Are there any legislative changes Congress should be considering so IRS can have the flexibility to hire employees they need to now get out of this hole that you're in?
Yeah, again, I think the direct hiring authority would be the key to moving quickly, so that if I sat down with you, interviewed you, and I thought you were the right person for the job, I could hire you on the spot versus having to go through the entire process. So that would be a big help for the IRS with some of the challenges that they're facing.
I think my colleague, Senator Portman, is next.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, and thanks for having this hearing and the testimony we've had already today regarding the crisis we face, which is overwhelming. 23.5 million pieces of mail, including 8.5 million paper returns, a total of nearly 17.6 million returns.